Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Forgotten Film channel. Today's Forgotten Film is AngelDead. In the late 1970s, PCP was a huge problem in the California school districts. Join Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward in this public service announcement in an effort to bring awareness to this issue. They're going to talk to a bunch of teenage Shermheads about their experience. Produced in 1979, this is AngelDead. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you for tuning in to the Forgotten Film channel. Have a great today and an even better tomorrow.
This evening?
PCP, or angel dust.
If you haven't really been smoking it, you can't really talk about it. But if you're really into it, you know what you're talking about.
You know, my mama love it.
Really violent.
Nah, you just want to fight. Want to get it out of you.
I'm not crazy.
When I'm high, if I had a gun, I'd probably shoot myself.
Candy, how old are you now?
12.
How old were you when you first started smoking angel dust?
11.
Phencyclidine hydrochloride, PCP, was developed 20 years ago as a surgical anesthetic. In early tests, scientists found out that 1 out of 3 people woke up screaming in a state of temporary insanity.
Now the same chemical made in underground labs has become a major drug problem in most large cities in the United States. In Los Angeles, PCP-related arrests have risen 2,000% in the last 4 years. In New York, 1 in every 6 students in junior high and high school has tried PCP at least once. It is now second only in popularity to alcohol and marijuana among school-aged drug users.
How did you feel when you used the angel dust?
I don't know. I just felt blazing.
I'm Joanne Woodward.
And I'm Paul Newman. PCP is the latest and potentially the most dangerous drug to hit the youth drug scene. The National Institute on Drug Abuse estimates that over 7 million people have used PCP. Many are hooked on it.
According to one study, the average age for using angel dust the first time is 14. It is cheap and easy to buy. The cost of a joint laced with PCP is about the same as a school lunch.
But the effects are unpredictable, and they are uncontrollable. Many experts say angel dust is the most destructive drug in the street. We'll find out why from the people who use it.
I have left home and have gotten lost. Didn't know my way back home.
I looked at her until she went to the bottom of the swimming pool. And then, even when she was at the bottom, I said, "You really swim under the water real good."
You mentioned it was a pretty good sized caliber gun. How big a gun did you use?
357.
Which would normally kill a person with one bullet at close range, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But it was 2.
Angel dust can be purchased in more forms than any other illegal drug. It can be smoked, snorted, shot, or swallowed in a pill. Some even use it in eye drops. It can be sold as a crystalline powder or a liquid. One way of using it is to dip one of these cigarettes into a liquid and smoke it. These are called Shermans or Sherms and produce a high after 1 or 2 hits. The most popular way is to sprinkle the chemical on parsley or mint leaves and roll them into a joint. This is a duster and sells for about $3. It looks deceptively like a marijuana joint, but PCP is much more powerful.
Go. Okay.
A dose of angel dust sent this man running wild down Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. Minutes earlier, he kicked out store windows with his bare feet and threatened people with an ice pick. This man smoked just 1 cigarette dipped in PCP. An hour later, he ended up here in an emergency room. 6 people were required to restrain him. These handcuffs were broken by a man whose hands were locked behind his back. He was on PCP. It took 550 pounds of pressure to break them. These are not isolated instances of bizarre, violent behavior caused by PCP. They happen often. Sometimes they are gruesome. One man, under the influence of angel dust, pulled out his own teeth with a pair of pliers. Another bit off a woman's nose. One woman fried her own baby in cooking oil. PCP can cause more harm than any other illegal drug. Since its discovery in the late 50s, PCP's only legal use has been as an anesthetic for animals. Victor is a 300-pound male jaguar from South America. He is about to be knocked out with PCP. He had a cancerous growth removed from his leg that still requires periodic medical care. This is his 6th treatment. In 15 minutes, Victor will be completely anesthetized. But PCP is not without side effects. His passage to anesthesia will be turbulent. Initially, PCP acts like a stimulant for both animals and humans. As the dose increases, the effects of PCP change to a depressant. Senses are dulled, reactions slowed, and coordination thrown off. When all senses are completely immobilized, the animal or human is in a state of anesthesia.
PCP is a safe drug when properly used on animals. It also has some side effects and negative drawbacks to the use of the drug. In some animals, we see a fairly high incidence of convulsions. Unless you mask it with other drugs to mask the bad effects, you can have the animal go down into violent convulsions. And that can be a very dangerous situation for the animal.
PCP causes other side effects. Victor's temperature will rise. He will over-salivate and could drown in his own saliva. He could begin vomiting uncontrollably. Early this year, legal manufacturers stopped making PCP. It is being replaced by anesthetics that are safer and have fewer side effects. Soon, the only species using PCP will be humans.
My muscles would become extremely rigid. I would vomit.
I remember having muscle spasms. You're real shaky and nervous, and you stumble on everything, and
you just can't, like, move. You're, like, paralyzed.
And you like that feeling?
Kind of, in a way.
Despite its obvious dangers, these young people are into angel dust.
Like I said, if you're into getting high, it's a good high. Because you're space, and you can let your mind take over anything. You could look at a piece of paper and make it look like a rock or the ocean or anything.
Once a week, they meet at a counseling center to talk about their bad trips and bizarre experiences. Their counselor is a former drug user himself.
Well, I really don't use anymore now.
You're...
like I OD'd.
You did OD?
Yeah.
George Henry is 15. He's overdosed on PCP 3 times.
What was the experience that caused you to OD?
Just taking 2 hits and ending up in the hospital.
During a break in the filming, George and a friend disappeared while the cameras were reloading. When he came back, George looked different.
Look up here at Jim. Can you look over here at me? Can you open your eyes?
Yeah.
Look over here where I'm sitting. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Look up here.
We found out later that George had smoked half a duster.
Can you tell us what day it is today?
Yeah.
All right. What day is it today? You know where you are this evening?
No.
Is this the normal way that you feel this evening?
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? Can you talk and tell us what it's like where you're at right now?
Yeah.
What's it like, George?
I don't know.
A high on angel dust is described as being detached from all feelings or suspended in a state of nothingness. A user may hallucinate that he's God, immortal and superhuman. While he appears calm, scientists have learned the activity in his brain is anything but tranquil.
For 20 years, scientists have been studying the brain waves of monkeys to find out how PCP affects humans. This is Fuzzy, and these are her brain waves when normal. After an injection of PCP, her brain waves look like this.
Well, you can see that Fuzzy already is spaced out, and yet you notice that she has her eyes open. You'd see the same thing in a human being that would take a dose similar to this.
Under PCP, the brain's nerve cells all fire at once, sending high voltage surges of electricity through the brain. An overdose of PCP can overload the brain's circuits with more voltage than it can handle.
Fuzzy is now showing another thing. You notice the twitchings that she's getting? These are seizures. And some humans actually have epileptic seizures exactly like Fuzzy. One of the problems of PCP is the fact that it's very easy to overdose. A small dose gives a little bit of a zombie-like effect, a little larger dose and you are a zombie, and still a little larger dose and you're in a convulsion. And so this is a real problem in the case of phencyclidine, because a little bit can really overdose you.
I want to just go home.
Ellis Warren smoked one Sherman, a cigarette dipped in PCP. He overdosed and was taken to an emergency room.
Fuck that. I don't want to hurt you.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Nobody.
I don't want to hurt
Ain't nobody gonna hurt
in the world.
you. No one gonna hurt you.
Ellis must be handled very carefully. Overdose victims feel no pain and often tear muscles and break limbs without knowing. The staff must try to restrain him while still protecting themselves and Ellis from injury.
There is no specific medical treatment or detoxification for PCP. We just haven't found it yet. Kids are dying from PCP, and we don't know how to keep them from dying. From overdoses, from seizures that don't stop, from coma. The most characteristic thing that you can say about PCP is that it is unpredictable. So it's a medical problem that we're not on top of, and for that reason, medically, PCP is more dangerous than heroin.
Let's go up. Yep. The violent symptoms of a PCP overdose usually subside in a few hours, but they can return. PCP is stored in the body's fat cells and can be recirculated through the brain days or even weeks later.
I find it that it has it has a personality effect change on me. It just.
Well, I couldn't remember how to put together lose count of things. And
Zombie, space cadet, rubberhead, burnout. These are street terms for a condition doctors call chronic brain syndrome. It is caused by repeated use of PCP, even in low doses. Maggie Jackson has been using angel dust for 6 years. It has taken its toll in amnesia, stuttering, anxiety, and severe depression.
I know I'm sick. I admit the fact that I'm sick.
When was the last time you got busted?
I got busted about 2 weeks ago. It's hard for me to remember, exact dates.
Maggie, have you had any problems with your memory?
Yes. I have left home and have gotten lost. Didn't know my way back home. And I forget dates. And forgotten my age. And you forget a lot. Could you count backwards from 100 to me? Not really. It's 99, 98, 97, 96. It's hard to do, really. I guess the way I feel, since I've been off into this thing with PCP, I refuse to, in a way, to do anything intelligent because it seems to me I have reminded everybody, you know, look at me as a complete dummy.
While it is not physically addicting, many users find that PCP can easily become a habit.
Get up in the morning, light some up, she puffs in. I'd have some for lunch, and I'd feel a shortness of breath if I didn't get any for dinner.
I don't want to smoke it, you know. I know it's bad, you know. I don't want to smoke it, and it's because I can't think and I can't remember or anything. But
then when the chance comes up, he just gets out of control and you just smoke it.
A few days after his overdose, Ellis Warren was released from the hospital. Ellis has been taking drugs since he was 13. His experience with PCP convinced him to enter a drug rehabilitation program. Often an overdose victim does not recall the experience, so we invited Ellis to watch the film of his night in the emergency room, a night he doesn't remember.
Only one detail I remember was like I was strapped down, you know. That seemed like that's in my mind, but everything else I, you know, can't remember.
Okay, why don't you push the button and look at the film?
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, doctor. You know, my mama love me. How you going home, Eddie? My mama love me. We need to get this Oh, fuck that. I don't want to hurt you.
Nobody gonna hurt you. Nobody
I don't want to hurt nobody in the world.
No one gonna hurt you.
I don't know what that is they gave me.
Well, you
I don't
can't
know what
get
it is they gave me. They had to go on my money. They had to go on my money and shit. I ain't got nothing. Man, I'm trying to survive.
You can't be trying to survive. Why are you acting like that?
No, Ellis. Oh, look at me. I love
It's a cold stuff. It's cold. I really hate, you know, that I was even introduced to it, you know. I never felt in my whole life that I would present myself like that. I never thought it's like that wasn't me, that was somebody else. I can't really define what was going on in my mind because I guess I don't know myself. I had no control of us. I couldn't even stand up at first. And like when I did finally make it to the clinic, that was when I was like coming down. I couldn't be me. I had to be what it wanted me to be. And I'm gonna do everything within my power to never let it happen again.
For every person who manages to get free from a PCP habit, many others fall into the same trap daily. The process starts here. This is a transaction between a dust user and a dust dealer. The picture and sound quality have been altered to conceal their identities. We made contact with the dealer during our research, and he agreed to be interviewed.
The people that deal the dust are very intelligent, and they're very organized.
He is 21 and has been dealing dust for several years. Now he wants to stop, so he agreed to talk to us.
You know a lot of young kids are smoking dust.
Yes, I do.
What do you think of these young kids who are smoking dust?
I think they're very stupid. And they're probably stealing from their friends and their neighbors just to get high. And you know who comes up with all their money? I do. my kids. My kids come before anybody else.
You have a couple of little kids, right?
Yes, I do.
And they're just babies right now.
Yes, they are.
Would you want them to use PCP when they grow up?
Oh, Lord, no. I would not want them to use PCP. I want them to understand that I'm going through something in life that they better not go through, because if I find out they ever got even near this, I will find out, and I will find out who gave it to them, and I will totally kill. I will kill them.
Officer?
Yes, sir.
I just want to ride my bike, man, please.
No, you can't ride your bike. You're under arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs.
These are the actual sounds of an 18-year-old male arrested for driving a motorcycle erratically. He was under the influence of PCP.
Please, please. If you got your Harley ripped off, man. If you got your fucking Harley ripped off, man. You'd be pissed off too, man. I just bought that fucking bike, man. God damn it! They just fucking hit me, man.
15 minutes later, he was taken to a police station. PCP frequently triggers violent, psychotic behavior. Scientists are not sure why. Some say it causes it. Others think that PCP releases impulses in people predisposed towards violence. Whatever the reason, no one can ever be sure how it will affect them.
Quite often I found myself being pretty violent.
Nah, you just want to fight. Want to get it out of you. If you don't get it out of you, it stays in you, you know, you just want to fight.
Just the least thing would really set me off.
I don't know why, but we got in a fight, and we were throwing lamps.
Well, I was at Dodger Stadium, and I tried to sneak down from the general admission to the box seats, and I pushed a usherette into a wall.
An argument came up somehow, and before I knew it, I found myself pushing his friend out my window.
Do you get into fights often, Greg?
No, I don't. I'm not a violent person at all, to tell you the truth.
Never been busted for
Violence?
assault?
No, I haven't.
When he was 16 years old, Greg Cooper shot and beat to death a friend he had known for 4 years. Greg was loaded on dust.
How much dust had you done that day?
I'd say about a half ounce. About a half ounce, to be sure.
A friend of Greg's was having problems with a girl he liked. He asked Greg to shoot her new boyfriend. When he was not dusted, Greg refused. This is Robert, the boy Greg killed. The night of the murder, Greg's accomplice got him loaded.
Could you describe what happened when you killed him?
Well, we were loaded on dust pretty heavy that night, about a half ounce, and we were all talking and everything, and I guess the dust started taking effect, and I reacted and got mad and went over there and shot him a couple times.
Is that all you did?
And I hit him a couple times in the face.
With what?
With the gun.
Do you remember the feelings you had?
No, I didn't. Next day, I didn't remember any of it until my crime partners told me, the people that were with me.
Did somebody put you up to killing him?
I sort of got talked into it, I'd say. If I was in the right state of mind, I would have walked away. I would have never did it.
You mean not stoned on dust?
Yeah, I would have never reacted like that, no.
My friend and I, Denise, her name was Denise. We decided to go swimming one day, and we decided to get a Sherman first. And when we got there, we decided to get 2 Shermans. So we got in the pool and we splashed around. We're having fun. Oh, we're bold, we're bad, you know, we're doing something. And we were just as loaded as we wanted to be. And she started screaming for help. And she said, "Help me, Jackie, I'm drowning." And I said, "No, you're not, Denise, you're not drowning." I got out of the swimming pool and I watched her. Even when she was at the bottom, I said, "You really swim under the water real good," you know. And when I finally did dive in and get her, she was already dead. And after that, I just ran off screaming.
Jackie Blair is 18. She's been using PCP for 3.5 years. 2 weeks after her friend drowned, she decided to get help. She had herself committed to a state mental institution.
How do you feel about me kind of putting, you know, kind of talking about your hurt?
I don't like it.
Jackie is in a drug rehabilitation program with other PCP users. They share one thing in common. They are all in pain and use PCP in an attempt to find peace of mind.
Can you look at me, Jackie? All right, try and look at me. Okay, I see you looking at me, and I'm concerned. And I wonder if you share the same concern that I do.
I'm concerned.
Can you say that one more time?
I'm concerned, but it's no problem.
Okay.
Jackie has kept her pain hidden away from her therapist and from herself.
Tell me what it's like to just be concerned.
No.
No what? It's very hard to be concerned. And when you allow yourself to be concerned, what happens?
Hurt. I don't like hurt, man.
Well, what we have with Jackie is a PCP problem in the present that started off as an interpersonal problem. Once we get beyond that, we find a lot of pain, a lot of concern, a lot of feelings, emotional feelings that she has no idea how to deal with. Ever since she was 13, 14 years old, what she's been doing is stopping those feelings from coming up by taking PCP. And suddenly you have a PCP problem.
After 2 months, Jackie has decided she's ready to leave.
She's leaving right before the breakthrough. There's a little ridge that she has to get over where all the emotions lie. That's the point that she's decided to leave.
Two weeks after she left the mental hospital, we filmed Jackie as she visited her friend's grave for the first time.
I wrote a poem, and the name of it is Paradise. Paradise, where is it? Where can I find it? Does anyone know? May I find it in life? Can I find it in death? Lord, where can I go? Is it on a faraway island or on a cruise on a ship? Paradise, maybe I'll find it just by taking one cool dip. Paradise. Right after she died, I didn't want to be her either. She was gone, and I wanted to be dead. I thought about the way she died, the chemicals that were in her system. That's no way to die.
Staying off PCP isn't easy. It's a long, tough process. For every success, there are many others who slip back into it. The PCP story has few happy endings.
What happened to me that night, I pray to God that it never happen again.
Ellis Warren is still having problems with drugs. He has used PCP several times since watching his own overdose.
Where are you going to go after you leave here this evening?
According to his mother, George Henry has not smoked angel dust since being filmed. She has arranged to have some friends beat him up every time he tries.
Deep down, I know that it's harmful to me.
Maggie Jackson is still suffering from some of the symptoms of burnout, but she has managed to cut down on dust from once or twice a day to once or twice a month.
It's scared me into where if I went back to it, it just might happen again.
Greg Cooper was arrested for murder. Complications in his case led to the prosecution accepting a plea of manslaughter. He will be released in 14 months.
I am in disguise. They'll never catch me no matter what.
Our dealer told us he has stopped selling dust. He has moved from his apartment and left no forwarding address or phone number.
The effects it gets on you, you know, it's, some people don't come back.
Even the experience of watching her friend drown has not scared Jackie off PCP completely. She slipped back to the drug several times, but 7 months after we filmed her, she has returned to a drug program for help. Much about PCP is still a mystery. As yet, there is no explanation for many of its effects. We do not know why PCP triggers uncontrollable violence. We do not know why it is unpredictable, or why it causes hallucinations, paranoia, or depression. We do not know how long it recirculates in the body, or why it leaves people behaving like zombies. And we do not know if it causes genetic defects that will be passed along to the children of PCP users.
What we do know is that PCP is the most dangerous drug on the street. It is easy to overdose. It can easily become a habit. It can easily make you crazy.
If you are into PCP, take a close look at yourself. It may be giving you a peace of mind that is leaving you mindless. Your PCP problem will not go away by itself. The only alternative to the drug is not to need it. The most important thing you can do is to find help.
If you haven't tried PCP, but you're thinking about it, just remember the people you've seen here. The risks are obvious. Only you can decide if they're worth it.